morning, everybody, and welcome to Living with AS, sponsored by The Violent Breed. Let's jump right into it. As you saw in my introductory videos, that's kind of my dealings with AS. So let's just jump into the overview of the causes, the symptoms and causes of AS. Ankylosing spondylitis is an inflammatory disease that over time can cause some of the vertebrae in your spine to fuse. The fusing makes the spine less flexible and can result in a hunched forward posture. If ribs are affected, it can be difficult to breathe deeply, which I experience on a daily basis. I can attest to this. Ankylosing spondylitis affects men more often than women, although it is prevalent in women. Signs and symptoms typically begin in early adulthood. Inflammation also can occur in other parts of your body, most commonly your eyes. I can attest to that too as well. There is no cure for ankylosing spondylitis, but treatments can lessen your symptoms and possibly slow progression of the disease. Like Humira, Enbrel, drugs like that. It works for some people. It didn't work for me. I had adverse reactions to said medications. But there are other medications that you can take. I wouldn't suggest going into, opioids or any type of narcotics like that. I'm currently on morphine sulfate and Xanax, basically alprazolam, to calm my nerves down because of the spasms that you go into, because it does choke off your nerve endings that come out of your spine, out of the facet joints in your spine. Your facets become inflamed and it does choke your nerves, which sends wrong messages throughout your bodies. So it's affecting your organs as well as your muscles. Anyways, moving on. Symptoms. Early signs and symptoms of ankylosing spondylitis might include pain and stiffness in your lower back and hips, especially in the morning and after periods of inactivity. That's why I do the show in the morning to get, even though I'm on my medications, I want to one day show you guys the pain that is involved with this. Neck pain and fatigue also are common. I am done by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I have to go to sleep. It wears you out. Over time, symptoms might worsen, improve, or stop at regular intervals. Like right now, it seems to have subsided. I'm not in as bad shape as I usually am. But I'll get really bad. I'll do videos of me walking around, stuff like that, so you can see. The areas most commonly affected are the joint between the base of your spine and your pelvis, the sacroiliac joint, the vertebrae in your lower back, which in my situation, mine are fused. I've already had to have a double hip replacement. I've had to have a double hernia operation from trying to pick up stuff because you can't really use muscles like you can normally. The places where your tendons and ligaments attach to bones, mainly in your spine, but sometimes along the back of your heel. That's odd. I haven't experienced that yet. The cartilage between your breastbone and your ribs. If I could stand up and you guys can see right here underneath my breasts, my body is basically folding forward. Your hip and shoulder joints. I was just saying I had a double hip replacements. Not really have any problems with my shoulders yet, thank God. Nothing in my fingers or anything, but it's mostly big joints that it deals with. When to see a doctor? Yeah, seek medical attention if you have low back or buttock pain that came on slowly, is worse in the morning, or awakens you from your sleep in the second half of the night. Absolutely. I get if I'm lucky, I might get 2 hours of sleep a night. It's bad. Particularly if this pain improves with exercise and worsens with rest. That's true. If the longer you sit, like I am now, the worse you're going to feel. It's going to be horrible when you get up and try to walk. The more stuff you do, it drives my wife nuts. They call me like the road runner, or Speedy Gonzalez, because I'm just moving all the time. But if I don't, I'm in pain. So you got to keep moving. See an eye specialist, an ophthalmologist. immediately if you develop a painful red eye, severe light sensitivity, or blurred vision. I also can attest to this. I wear glasses, as you can see. But there is pain behind the eyes mostly. I mean, it feels like a migraine headache. Your eyes feel like they're throbbing and they do get red. That's where, like legal cannabis, I use that and it really helps out with any type of pain or eye situations, anything, any type of inflammation. It's beautiful, works great for that. Causes: ankylosing spondylitis has no known specific cause, though genetic factors seem to be involved. In particular, people who have a gene called HLA-B27 are at greatly increased risk of developing ankylosing spondylitis. However, only some with the gene develop the condition, not all. I do have the gene, so go see, get an x-ray, go have a blood test done so you can see if you have this gene. In the x-ray, they're going to see if your bones are fusing. That's how I was diagnosed in 2009. I was working and had lower back pain, and I just thought it was from lifting, various things. I was a construction worker, contractor, and yeah, I just thought it was just normal back pain from busting your hump, But come to find out, risk factors, your sex. Men are more likely to develop ankylosing spondylitis more than women. Your age. Onset generally occurs in late adolescence or early adulthood. Your heredity. Most people who have ankylosing spondylitis, have the HLA-B27 gene, but many people who have this gene never develop ankylosing spondylitis. I just said that basically. So I can attest to this. My father had this disease and never went to a doctor. I could tell that he had it. I'm sorry, he's passed. Because he would always stand in the garage and be leaning on his workbench, just in a hunched position, because that's what made him feel good. And he didn't take any medications. His medication of choice was alcohol, beer, whiskey, which resulted in a not so great childhood. But I can understand what this man was going through. He was in constant pain, so I get him now. I can just say I get him now. All right, complications. In severe ankylosing spondylitis, new bone, forms as part of the body's attempt. Oh gosh, hold on 1 second. Yeah, I'm right. I'm sorry. Okay. New bone forms as part of the body's attempt to heal. This new bone gradually bridges the gap between vertebrae and eventually fuses sections of vertebrae. Those parts of your spine become stiff and inflexible. Fusion can also stiffen your rib cage, restricting your lung capacity and function. I can attest to this. I have very hard times breathing sometimes. Other complications may include eye inflammation, which we've gone over. One of the most common complications of ankylosing spondylitis, uveitis, can cause rapid onset eye pain, sensitivity to light and blurred vision. See an ophthalmologist right away. Compression factors. Some people's bones thin during the early stages of ankylosing spondylitis. Weakened vertebrae can crumble, increasing the severity of your stooped posture. Vertebral fractures can put pressure on and possibly injure the spinal cord and the nerves that pass through the spine. I was just talking about that with the facet joints. Heart problems. Oh boy, this is scary for me. Ankylosing spondylitis can cause problems with your aorta. Good Lord. The largest artery in your body. The inflamed aorta can enlarge to the point that it distorts the shape of the aortic valve in the heart, which impairs its function. I am officially horrified. I'm just kidding. I can deal with it. So this is what I'm reading. This is from the Mayo Clinic site. So the Mayo Clinic Experience and Patient Stories. You can go on there and see testimonies how they've gone to the Mayo Clinic and they've gotten help. Patients tell how their quality of life has improved, interactions, stuff like that. It does make you a recluse. I rarely want to go out in public because I feel like I'm being stared at, because of my posture. People are wondering what's wrong because it's such an unknown disease. That's why I'm doing this podcast, is to try to raise awareness, basically. Violent Breed it's really the name of my band. That's how I got this started. So, and what's funny, it's not funny, but one of the side effects from this disease is it makes you moody, it makes you grumpy. So, and my father was a very grumpy man, and that's kind of how we got the name, the Violent Breed. So, anyways, I don't know what that has to do with anything. I got music on this site. Listen to my music. Anyways, if you liked what you saw, if this is informative, there's gonna be more videos to come. In the second video, we're gonna talk about medications and how you can prevent or quell the pain, anything to help sleep, stuff like that. We're gonna get into that in episode 102. So if you like what you heard, like the information, subscribe, share it. Please share this. This is to raise awareness of this disease, because nobody knows about it. So please share this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you.